Kia ora, my name is Jesse Armstrong and I am one of the designers behind Ocarina Puoro. This video is to give you a bit of a tutorial on how to play. I wanted to start off by just showing you all the different kind of features and how they work when you go to play the instrument. So the first thing to note is you've got 4 holes in the front. These 4 holes are actually where you'll change your notes. So when you play, you typically will, cover them with your finger, and you can actually pitch and bend the notes if you kind of just expose the hole a little bit like that. At the back, you'll have another hole here, which is actually where the sound comes out. And so some people might not realize that. They try to play with their thumb covering it and it doesn't make a noise. You want to leave this hole exposed. And of course, the top is where you'll actually blow through the instrument. So to make a simple sound, the key is to think about when you have like some hot food or a hot drink and you're trying to just cool it down. We're not going like, well, some people might, but you want to kind of just gently let the air come out. So instead. And as you do that through this top hole here, you should get a nice, beautiful tone. The key also is to make sure that you get a good seal with your lips around the top and not kind of leave any parts of it exposed. It'll give you a nice, clean note. So I'll just play a simple note to demonstrate. Remember, the key is just like when you're blowing something too hot and you're trying to cool it down, nice and gentle, and just let the air flow. So here we go. Simple, yeah? So I'm leaving this back hole exposed to let the sound come out. I'm using my fingers on the 4 holes in the front to control the notes. And I'll now demonstrate what I mentioned before around kind of pitching and bending the notes. And I'll demonstrate first just using this hole up in the top left corner. And so when I cover it with my 4 fingers, all I'm doing is I'm just going to carefully open up that hole a little bit without releasing my finger fully. And you'll notice as you do that, the note will kind of pitch up and down. And so if I play a single note, and then pitch and bend, so you can kind of get different tones and sounds like that. I'll also describe how to get what we call a vibrato tone through the instrument, which is kind of like where the note quivers a little bit. The key to doing that is it's all about how you use your mouth when you're releasing the air. So, before we talked about making sure that the air is just flowing and we're not trying to push the air out too hard. To get vibrato, you want to control the airflow, so you're kind of like pushing the air in and out. It's a bit hard to describe, but if you kind of keep that visual in your mind that I'm trying to push air in and out, then you'll notice that as you play that note, it'll kind of have a bit of a wobble to it or a bit of a quiver to it. So it should sound something like this. So it's, once again, it's kind of like pushing, you're releasing the air and then kind of like pushing it in and out like that. So to play, there are different like tunes that you can play with this, and some people, they may have a tune in mind, but sometimes the best thing to do, I find at least, is to just have a bit of a tutu with it until you find certain melodies that you really like, and they can become almost like a meditative thing. I find that for me, if I just sit here and play it for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm not trying to play anything in particular, I'm just kind of feeling through the music, then I find that it's really relaxing and comforting. And so yeah, just to kind of point out, some people have asked like what certain notes you can play on these. So yeah, all 4 of them covered will give you an A4 in particular. If you release the my right side, which will look like your left, then that would produce a D. And then if you flip it over the other side, cover those 2 and expose the other half, you'd get an E. So A, D, and E. So just a few simple notes. You can play all types of other notes as well and bend in between the notes as well, but those are just some simple ones to kind of get you started.